Hey guys, History Writer here. Welcome back. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to have a real quick channel update, what's going on the workbench and everything else. Then we'll talk a little bit about the F-16 Fighting Falcon. What I'm doing is I decided I have enough time based off of how well the F-106 build is going that I can do a real quick second entry to the International Scale Modeler Homeland group build. So I figured, hey, you know what? I've got this 148 scale F-16 laying around, built by Academy, so why don't I go ahead and build that? So we're going to talk a little bit about the F-16, then we're going to go do a opening box and review of the Academy F-16. So anyway, without further ado, let's see how we're doing at the workbench. Hey guys, welcome to the workbench. I had to clean it up quite a bit just because it was in a nasty state of affairs. I had to clean it up so we could do the start up the F-16. But in any case, let's take a look at the F-106 progress. Here we have the lower, oh boy, I can't see that. There we go. The lower fuselage with the delta wing attached. Let's take a look here. We've got the interior green or the green zinc chromate, depending on what shade, for the interior landing bay. We can see here the interior bomb bay. Don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'm just going to make it all streamlined and one lean, mean fighting machine. Going to keep it clean, so I'll just put the bomb bays on that closed. No big deal, but we'll see. We'll see if I change my mind by then. Fit issues with the F-106. We'll talk about the lower fuselage have first. It was a, if you can see by my builds, it was a two-piece join. It was this entire top part of the delta wing attaching to, you can see here and all along here, the join for the lower fuselage half mating to the upper fuselage half, the delta wing. But take a look. You can see just one real big nasty seam, and it continues all the way here. You know, so there's going to be a lot of fill, a lot of sanding, puttying and whatnot. So that's where we're at with that. Getting the the other thing is, before we join the upper and lower fuselage half, I actually have to install the nose gear landing bay. It's a several piece project. We can see here the top of it is the bottom of the cockpit tub from the upper fuselage half, and then you've got a piece that fits in here for the landing door, landing bay, gear door. You know, and then there's a couple other pieces that you actually have to fit together like this. So it's an involved process. It's pretty ugly, guys. Not a very well designed kit, as I think I said in the review, but you know, it gets the job done. I guess you can see what it looks like when it's all finished. As far as, oh look, it's got landing gear. My pride and joy so far is the cockpit. Okay, I had to do quite a bit of color matching, but if you can see, you can probably see from all the pictures, the previous updates, I got that Montana Big Sky Blue down pretty well, that the Montana Air National Guard did of their F-106 cockpits. The only colors, and based off of the that MiG-25 that defected. So pretty cool stuff. I'm pretty pleased with it. Let's see if you can see it there a bit better. Let's see if I can get it up close. Well, I guess it's not focusing very well. But, oh, almost. Yeah, well, you get the idea. Take a look at the build thread. It's all there. I'm pretty pleased with it. I actually asked the there's a forum online dealing directly with the F-106s. I asked those guys, hey, did I get it right? And they said, hey, that's powder blue. Good job. So, tell you what, I'll take that as a win. Next little piece of what we're doing here is we are working with the real simple engine, the tail can here. I got steel painted in there, flat black here, and then here we have the burner, the intake, the turbo fan, well, anyway, that part of the engine made it up here, and I got this piece, the part of the burner and the director nozzle, I believe. Painted that flat black and dry brushed burnt silver highlights on it, so it looks like it's been used. So when you piece everything together, it looks pretty darn neat. I'm going to put some steel or jet exhaust around here, so it'll look like you know, been fired up a few times and gone at a high rate of speed at Mach 2. So, little piece of new tidbit about the F-106. So far, it is the record holder for the fastest single-engine main production U.S. aircraft in the world. The Russians say they beat it, but it's unsubstantiated. F-106 stock. They built they put two versions in this test to break some records. They had one F-106 that had a differently tuned engine, highly tuned and refined. And anytime that they tried to put that sucker up in the air, something would go wrong, and it would cause the aircraft to just maneuver improperly to the point where it almost ready to crash. So they decided, well, we can't use that sucker, so we're just going to have to use a stock F-106. And guess what, guys? Mach 2.13, fastest single-engine record so far. And the Russians said, oh, we got ours to 2.56, and, well, prove it, and they haven't. So, hooray for the F-106, fastest jet out there, single engine. Oh, one other thing. The join, when everything's all said and done, this one is a bit tricky. It's going to be nasty. There's going to be lots of fill, lots of sanding. So we'll see what we can do there. You can see here that, yeah, that's pretty ugly there. The tail assembly. Oh no. Okay, well, we'll have to fix that later. But here, you know, there's seams and lines. It's pretty gross, guys. But like I said, until the trumpeter kit came out, the only F-106 kit out there that was worth anything. So there it is. Looks pretty decent. It'll be okay. All right. Let's head back to the review board. See you guys later. Well, guys, there you have it. There's the status of the F-106. You could see that it's going to be a lot of work, but it It's a lot of fun. I'm having a blast with it. I've reached a pretty good stopping point so that I can work on the F-16 a little bit, but waiting for stuff in the mail to come so I can. I want to try out a new primer. I've been hearing a lot about this Stynylrez made by Badger, and so I kind of and a holding pattern anyway to try it. I really want to try it on this one because I want to see how smooth of a finish I can get on it. Just because, just the way the aircraft was. I'm not too overly concerned about what primer I use on the F-16, but for the F-106, what the heck, why not? Let's go for the gusto. Let's see, where were we? Ah, yes. F-16. Designed in the 70s. First flight, I believe, 76, into production and adopted by the Air Force in 78. It won out a competition between another airframe that ultimately became the F-18 for the Navy. I don't know what it is about the Air Force, but for a while there, they just liked that single engine stuff. The F-16 now has gone through so many iterations and variants that if I were to talk anything in detail about them, we'd be here for hours, and I probably charge you guys for admission, or you'd probably wonder if you get a refund on your college credit or something. Anyway, it had a few unique starts. It was the first main production fighter to use the fly-by-wire system. So basically, the pilot wasn't flying it. The pilot was, colloquially call it, babysitter. The F-16 flies you. Fly-by-wire is a flight system where it takes the input into the control stick and converts it into an electronic signal and sends the commands to the control surfaces, either analog, electronic, or digitally, basically doing away with hydraulics or cable. So basically they called it the electric jet. And if your electric system failed, your F-16 wasn't flying. Period. End of report. Through some of the variants, the Air Force decided, hey, we've got this engine, but we need more than one engine manufacturer. So it was between, I believe, Pratt and Whitney and General Electric. They started building two different variants of engines, and then they started building F-16s to handle either one. So if one aircraft engine manufacturer went under or for some reason couldn't provide enough engines, they could just pull that engine out, put in the one that the other engine manufacturer could manufacture and provide parts for. So it was kind of more of a universal readiness capability, and it also reduced the cost of the F-16 and of the engine by having two manufacturers competing against each other to try and have as many engines as they could in a different single airframe. The F-16A was the very first one. It's now through, I believe, the F-16I or M. They had Block 15, Block 25, Block 30, Block 32, Block 40, Block 50, Block 60. Each of those, it just differentiated whether it was an internal fix or an external component that was added to it. So, real great jet. I mean, absolutely fantastic jet. Really, really versatile, multi-role fighter. It was air superiority for a while. Then they figured out, hey, we can actually use this sucker for interdiction. Then they put it into a real cool role, the Wild Weasel role, where the F-16CJ Block 40, there you go, right? Which one is that? Well, that's the Wild Weasel variant, where they had the internal, all the electronic warfare and countermeasures designed to take on the role of hunting down enemy radar, anti ground-to-air missile, anti-aircraft missile sites. They would let the site lock in on them, and then they'd fire a radar homing signal right into the radar site and disable it. So then the B-52s or the B-1s, you know, whatever airframe that was doing a bombing or interdiction mission, wouldn't have ground-to-air missile, surface-to-air missile, I guess, SAM strikes against it. That was really prevalent in Vietnam. It was a real nasty mission. The F-100s did it. I believe the F-4s may have done some of it, but not much. Not until later, anyway. The F-105 was the big one. They called it the F-105 Wild Weasel. You know, the F-105G. But F-16. It came about in order to replace the Air Force's aging F-105s and F-4 frames, and it's still in service today. They've got plans to not fully retire it till maybe 2025, somewhere in there. It has gone from the regular Air Force to the Air Force Reserve, and primarily now Air Force National Guard. I know Montana had F-16s from the 80s to the 2000s, and then for a while until the current administration pulled the F-15. They went to the F-15, but then with all the restructuring and reformatting of forces, Montana lost its F-15s and got C-130s. I won't go there any further than that. So, this time, I'll let you guys do all the research you want on the F-16. Like I said, too much to talk about in such little time. I want to keep this video a little bit short because we have the workbench review, then we have talking a little bit about the F-16. Then we're going to be looking at the kit. Anything else I can mention really cool about the F-16? Oh yes. It is the F-16 Fighting Falcon. Not a Viper, Fighting Falcon. Viper is an unofficial nickname. The Viper came about by pilots who thought, hey, you know what, this actually kind of looks like Battlestar Galactica's Vipers. And or the fact that, oh, just the way it looks like a snake. It looks like a viper. Well, I'll tell you what. Snakes don't fly. Falcons fly. It's a F-16 Fighting Falcon. So, period. End of discussion. All right, guys. Let's go to the workbench, and we'll take a look at this Academy 148th F-16 Fighting Falcon. Hey guys, welcome back to the workbench. Let's get started, shall we? Here we have the Academy 148 scale F-16A/C Fighting Falcon, not Viper. First off, not a bad looking kit. I mean, great looking box art. Academy always seems to have pretty decent box art. Looking at it, it says here, fully engraved panel lines, detailed cockpit interior, and landing gear compartment. So I'm excited about that. Optional to build as an F-16A or an F-16C. And full complement of underwing weaponry. That sounds like fun to me. The pictures look, they look okay. We've got a, let's see if you can see in this one here, the cockpit there, or the canopy glass, that is gold. That only happened to a certain iteration of F-16s to protect against electromagnetic radiation, or like EMP bursts. And it also started interfering with night flights and night vision goggles once they started being able to fly at night more often. And then other pictures of it. Looks like we've got the standard canopy there. So, that'll be weird. I may or may not try to build the gold canopy. Honestly, don't really know how I do that yet, but we'll figure it out. Based off the pictures, it looks like there might be some color correction that we'll have to do. Everything's almost all the same shade of gray. But on here we go. It looks pretty cool. Nice big red and white tail. That's going to be kind of unique. Never done anything that extravagant before. So let's go ahead and open it up, shall we? Okay. Right off the bat, we've got our decals here. I'll worry about that later. Well, let's take a look. So, decals look fairly nicely in register, nice thick. Well, there we are in the Korean. From reviews that I've seen of this from previous kits of the Academy F-16s, they're cartograph decals, so we'll see if they hold up to their name here. They look like there's going to be a lot, probably a lot of solvaset and sealant to get them to not show all of their transfer. But here's something that also scares me. Cockpit decals. When you say highly detailed cockpit interior and then you include cockpit decals, that doesn't quite add up to me. So we're going to have to see what we get out of that. But all the other decals look pretty nice. It'll be interesting to try out that red and white tail one. That's kind of big. Kind of a big decal. I might have to figure something else out for that. Okay, let's take a look at the instructions. Academy instructions I've always seemed to be pretty decent. Very simple, very straightforward. As far as if there's a weird fit, it really details that. Talks a bit once again about the F-16 and its versatility and its maneuverability. Very maneuverable jet. They actually did something called negative stability, where they actually designed it to not be aerodynamic. And so when the pilot would let go of the controls and the fly-by-wire wasn't working, it actually wouldn't fly very well. But that was in order to maintain its maneuverability with the fly-by-wire system. So let's take a look here. Okay, real simple, detailed instructions. Well, not real detailed, very simple instructions. Uh-oh. Okay, decal. If we look at that here. So, no detail to the cockpit interior, even though it says so on the box. Detailed cockpit interior. That's a real nasty bummer. So let's see what else can we find here. Okay, well, and there's the instructions here to whether you want to build an F-16C. Oh, there you can see it. Let's do this. F-16C, F-16A. And it looks so, simple instructions, almost no paint callouts, just this, that, and the other thing, like gloss white here, flat black there. Real simple. Munitions, just all very simple stuff. I mean, it's just almost just look at the picture and you can figure it out yourself, kid. That's what it seems like to me. So let's look at the markings. Okay. I see absolutely no call out for the paint. That's stupid. That's another strike. F-16s. According to Lockheed, they were painted in a three-tone gray scheme, and then when they got to their units, the units themselves would overpaint one of the colors of gray, and so then it became a two-tone scheme. But depending on the unit, depending on the data manufacturer, your F-16 will be either in 2 tones or 3 tones of different gray shades. But here we have none. We just have decal markings and where they're supposed to go, and then the big one. So according to Academy, it's all just one color, and it's gonna be whatever color the plastic is. So that's stupid. Sorry guys, get better with your instructions. I mean, you guys had one job, and that was to make it understandable. Okay, let's take a look at the sprue cutouts here. So we'll just go ahead and get one of these. Whoops. All right, have it your way. Still. All right. So, a lot of cooling lines. You know, this is where the injectors, you can see that little line right there. That is where the injection of the plastic actually cooled at different rates, and then it creates that little line there. Most of the time that will actually go away with the over the primer. Oh, hey look, here's that cockpit tub. Look at that. No detail whatsoever. This is really dumb. So I guess it's really hit or miss with Academy kits. Usually, I don't like the interior detail of the Academy kits. I love the exterior detail, with the exception of this one, because this one is just seems like it's really shoddy. But they've got usually have really good recessed panel lines and or detailed rivets, you know, that kind of thing. A bit of flash on the pieces here and here. Overall, not too bad. Let's see if we can... panel lines look nice. Inside, you know, the injector pin marks, yeah, that's always a common thing, but you won't see those. Interior, let's see, the landing gear bay doors, not too bad. Same thing there. We're going to have to prime those up, so get rid of those little cooling seams. Intake. Not too much detail on the inside there. Good looking recessed panel lines on the outside, so that's a plus. Okay, recessed panel lines. Let's look at the avian. Well, let's see. Drop tanks. Okay, drop tanks and other pods. The racks looks like a fairly somewhat decent engine. Ooh, got a pilot. Fairly detailed pilot for Academy. That's weird. The ejection seat. Let's see, where is that? Here, some here, and looks like the D handle for the ejection handle. Not too bad. So it's weird. Hit and miss on the details. Get your act together, guys. I mean, either don't do it at all or do it all together. Another little side note. I looked for aftermarket kits to detail the Academy. There's almost no such thing. I mean, can't find them anywhere. I was gonna build this with Montana Air National Guard in mind, but I'm not gonna do that anymore because there's no detail sets, and I want it to be detailed. So I'm just gonna build it as the kit says, and do my best. We'll take a look at the clear parts later. Alright, upper fuselage. So yeah, if you want to build the Academy kit, just do a good job on the outside, don't care about the inside, and you'll be okay. Some flash on some of the smaller pieces, just require a little bit of sanding. The F-16 nose, that looks pretty decent. A little bit of flash there though, that'll take some fixing. The tail can for the engine, not as detailed as I had hoped, but we'll go from there. Fuselage, upper fuselage, once again, this is where they shine, is that exterior panel line detail, as far as for, you know, an inexpensive kit. But it's going to look odd all in this color, isn't it? So we're going to have to find some color callouts for an F-16 and get it painted that way. Yeah, so there you go, guys. I mean, it's weird, isn't it? Hit and miss. Let's take a look at, looks like we've got the wings and other internal assemblies along with the munitions. Oh boy, I'm getting good at that. Alright, let's do it this way. Okay, that was easier. Alright, oh, here we go. Let's look at the instrument panel. You guys can see that. Not a thing. Wow, guys. Yeah, let's see. Fully engraved panel lines. Yes, check. Detailed cockpit interior and landing gear compartment. Oh, you know, I forgot to check. Where is it? Oh, here it is. This is the landing gear compartment. No detail. Gear doors. No detail. So it looks like here's the detail. This is the landing gear stuff here. So it looks like you're just gonna have to piece it all together to get the detail. Ejection seat sides, nothing to write home, nothing really, so no real detail. Okay, so interior detail is a bust, period, end of report. More of those seam lines there, you can, oh man, you can really see that, that's yuck. Flash along the bigger pieces, and yeah, so, okay. Guess this is what we get for, be careful what you wish for, guys. I wanted, oh, an F-16 kit. Very cool, 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 cool. I found this one. I'm like, all right, I'll handle it. Turns out it's a piece of junk. Okay. Munitions, flash pieces. Ooh, cool. I like this. The missiles, the sidewinders, they are one whole piece. That makes it a lot easier, a lot better. The AGM-65 Mavericks. 2 pieces, not too bad. Looks like they spent their time on the recessed panel lines and the munitions, and that is it. Okay. Let's see. I didn't see any centerline drop tank. I was hoping that we might be able to put one of those on, but we'll see if we arm it up or just leave it naked. Yeah, so that's the munitions for you. Then I think we talked about that. Yeah, we did. Okay. Let's look at the clear parts. Okay, well, they did good. That is actually really, really nice. What the heck? Some parts are great, other parts are okay, the rest is lousy. I mean, not consistent, not a good, not good quality control, guys. So, be careful what you wish for when you get this kit. It's a stinker. It'll probably go together fine. I mean, Academy usually just kind of slaps it together. Ooh, I've got myself a model. So we'll keep you posted on that. But yeah, I'm happy about the clear parts. That's one redeeming value. So, there's the kit review. Not detailed instructions. This was kind of the bust for me. I can handle, confusing parts callouts and diagrams, but not to have any colors of what to paint it. What is up with that? All right. Oh yeah, and having it say on the box, detailed cockpit interior, and have it turn out, oh, this is the detail, just the decals. What they should have said is decaled cockpit interior instead. So, there you have it, guys. That is my inbox review of the Academy F-16A/C Fighting Falcon. Oh, by the way, to get or to not get this kit, it is kit number 1688. Don't do it. Go for the Tamiya or go for the Hasegawa, whether it be 172nd or their 148th. Don't do the Academy one unless you plan on doing lots of research that won't get you anywhere, because I heard only one review that said that the stuff, the aftermarket stuff for the Tamiya or the Hasegawa can actually fit in the Academy, but I couldn't find any proof that they were maybe the same molds or the same design, same shape. So why bother? If you're going to put aftermarket kits into an F-16, put them in the kit that they're designed for, so you won't have any kind of heartache. Anyway, enough of this. We'll keep you detailed on how it goes together, and we'll go from there. All right, guys. We'll catch you on the flip side. History Rider out. Well, guys, there you have it. We went through Workbench Update, took a look at a little bit of the F-106, talked a little bit more about that. Then we talked about the F-16 and what a cool jet that is. And then with our opening box and review, we learned what a cool kit that Academy one isn't. So avoid it unless you want just a dirt cheap, less than $20 kit. I mean, it'll probably look good on the outside. Don't waste any time on the inside. I might make that canopy the gold version just so you can't see what level of detail there isn't on the inside. Yeah, I'm actually rather disappointed in Academy. I mean, I've always enjoyed their 1/72nd scale kits, for the bigger planes. Or they actually had a really good 1/48th scale F-111. I want to get that one back and rebuild it, but this one, no. So be careful what you wish for, because you might get it. I sure got it. It was a kick in the slats. So I'll build it. We'll have it for the Homeland group build as entry number 2. This one should probably be a fairly quick one, just because of the way everything looks. Hey, if I followed the instructions, I'd be done in 20 minutes. Looks like I could just slap it all together with the glue, and since I don't have to paint the outside according to the callouts or the lack thereof. All right. So anyway, enough griping about that. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Let's see, F-106, F-16, Academy Review. All right, there it is. We will catch you guys on the forums, International Scale Modeler at intscalemodeler.com. And we'll be more on the YouTube, maybe somewhat on Facebook. I don't know. I haven't been getting as many comments or reviews as I've been hoping out through all of them, so it's kind of a bummer, guys. Keep them coming. I appreciate it. Constructive criticism is always welcome. Hit me up. Check out the status and the progress of my builds. I seem to be like some kind of thread killer or something. But yeah, we'll see you guys later. History Rider out.